Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the Gospel Twins Testimony Tuesday. I'm their older sister, Dionne Kelly, and I'm going to give a bit of my testimony to hopefully inspire, encourage, and also uplift those who may have struggled with what I've struggled in my past youth and life. I'm going to read from the book of Ecclesiastes, just a verse or two, just to give you a bit of an intro on a message that I received and prayed on this testimony to share with you guys for Testimony Tuesday. All right. So rejoice. I'm reading from Ecclesiastes, number 11, verse 9. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that these things God will bring into judgment. Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. Now, what I received from that message is that evil and sorrow can be a downer. It can bring you down a road, a path that can lead to darkness. And I find that there's always a battle between your mind, your soul, and the things of this world and the things that you were taught as a Christian in a loving home. But also, too, what people don't understand is that sometimes when you're coming from a loving home or a Christian home on the outside, it's not always the case on the inside. My personal testimony is that I had dealt with suicidal thoughts numerous times throughout my youth. It began when I was about 8 years old, and it was difficult. It was hard. It was something that I had to come to terms with, and it was almost like a taboo issue in a Christian home. There was no one really to talk to about the issue because no one really spoke of these issues. So therefore, you kind of felt alone and confused. And I found that the environment that you are in sometimes doesn't give you a good enough outlet or an outreach. It's not like now where you have a little bit more understanding and compassion for those who have to deal with being different in society. And so with that being said, I felt that at that young age, which was very impressionable, that being bullied, being told that you're not going to amount to anything, being discouraged by others that you were less than what you were worth, was an easy target for Satan to manipulate and try to get you to turn and end your life. And if you end your life, you in a self-murder, and you commit yourself to hell, really and truly. But what people don't understand is that when you're in those dark thoughts, even at the tender age of 8, and don't get me wrong, it did not leave me at all. I struggled with suicidal thoughts, with cutting, with hurting yourself, with dealing with a very deep depression, smiling all the while, giving others that false performance of a happy person when you're very, very upset and have a lot to deal with on your plate, and trying to brush it off like nothing bothers you, but a lot does, because you're a human being and you're trying to walk right with God, but not always is the path easy or the road smooth. You realize and you come to terms that, sometimes you feel that God has forsaken you. He's no longer with you. He doesn't care about you. And it's a difficult realization because those are the things you don't want to say out loud. You don't want people to hear because they're going to judge you, make you feel a ways even worse than how you already feel when you're crying out for help. You're not getting the help that you need. You're getting judgment and people just trying to scare you into your faith. Hey, fear the Lord, it's automatic hell. Do you want to go to hell? Those things do not help a person who is struggling with mental issues or with bullying or being different or with failure. But I'm here to testify to you that, you can survive as long as you take that initial initiative to figure out what the problems really are. And I know it's difficult for those who are not faith-based, that don't have Christianity, that may not understand that God is walking with them, even through the dark times when it looks like you are abandoned and alone. You have to come to that realization that you have to look and reflect at yourself and see what the problem is. Is it this person who's bullying me? Is it this person who's making my environment not safe? Can I find an outlet or someone who can help me get out of this environment? And honestly, when you pray on it, you feel that, okay, Lord, did you hear my prayer? But God does works further down. So sometimes you have to stub your toe. Sometimes you have to get bit by the devil in order to realize that, you know what? I can too overcome this. And it's how I overcome this. It's how I deal with this. Do I want the devil to win by me just ending my life? Or am I going to do something with my life with God's great works? How do I want this path to end? But again, it takes realization within yourself first. Before you can get realization from others, sometimes you don't even want to hear it. You just want to wallow in that self-pity that if I'm not here, your life will be better. But the truth be told is the aftermath is worse for those who survive your suicide. It is daunting for those who survive your suicide, because then they're left questioning, what could I have done to save this person's soul? What could I have done to make this person's life? Why didn't this person speak up? Say, I need help. And if you have to scream and shout, you need help, scream and shout, you need help. If you feel it's falling on deaf ears, just know the Lord is listening. And he will eventually send someone that will save you. It may not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be a month from now. Like I said, I started at 8. I'm 33 this year. It takes a long time, and don't get it twisted. The devil tries every day, and he takes away, and he really tears you down and makes you feel that you are worthless and that life is even more difficult. But when you walk with Christ, you have to understand that the Lord did not promise you happiness on this earth. He promised you salvation. He promised you a better place in heaven. You do the works here on earth. We were all born into sin. No one is going to escape that other than Jesus. But he too was born into sin. And honestly, at the end of the day, when you come to a realization that, you know what, you're not alone. You're not the only Christian to deal with suicide. You may be the only Christian or a person that could survive suicide. Ask for help. Ask for help. You can say, Lord, please hear my cry. I am coming to you. I am being tormented, and I am dealing with a lot of heavy issues. And I know you don't give us more than we can bear. But Lord, I can't bear this. How can I survive this? Please walk with me. In Jesus' name. The simplest prayer. Sometimes just saying Jesus is the best prayer. But realistically, that's the testimony I can give to you guys, is the deeper understanding of a Christian who has always tripped and fallen and will continue to fall and sin and try to walk right. But that's life. Life is like that. Life is messy. Life is not to be understood and to wonder what the meaning of life is. Life is, what can I do to spread the word of Jesus and to inspire those that you're not alone. You're not alone. Although you feel alone, you're not alone. And believe me, it gets dark. But there is a hope. There's a light. And the light is Christ. And you can come to the realization. And even if you don't believe in the Lord, you'll find ways. He'll find you. If you ask and cry out for him, he'll find you. In Jesus' name. So I just want to say, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the Gospel Twins. You can get lots more Testimony Tuesday and empowering messages. Follow them so you don't miss when a notification comes up on a video being posted. And I hope that this message reaches a lot of people who need it to be reached. Share with friends and family. And God bless.